Race cars get really hot. Endurance racers have it the worst. You spend hours in the car at a time without having any brakes. Temperatures can get over 120 degrees inside the car, and that's all day long. Even drifters like myself, we can overheat after a couple of laps to the point where it's cooler to get out of the car and stand on the tarmac in the sun than it is to sit in your car waiting for the next run to happen. It's like 110 degrees in here right now, and I'm sunburned. I think I'm going to chill out and run grid with Tommy a little bit. There are a few good tricks to avoid getting heat stroke on those hot summer track days. The best I've found so far is just get a good car with air conditioning and cup holders.
Man, it's so nice in here.
But most of us are idiots, and we tear out all the insulation and air conditioning to save a few pounds in these hot little money pits. Adding air conditioning back in is pretty expensive and a huge hassle, and sometimes with engine swaps you just can't fit it in there. So far, the best solution is to just buy a cool suit. Most of the smart pro drivers use one because they keep you cool and they're super simple to install. It's basically just surgical piping stitched to a t-shirt, and ice cold water pumps through it via a magical pump box that sits somewhere else in the car full of nothing but ice and water. They're really expensive for how simple they are, especially for someone on a super tight grassroots budget. It just kind of breaks the bank, so that's why a lot of people don't have them. But if you read the title of this video, you know I already have a solution. There's this cool American company called Ultra Chiller. They have some really badass products. I really like, they have this like super tiny like canister cool suit. You can watch videos on YouTube of people putting it together and stuff, but it's on a quick release. It's super nice, really high quality stuff. I want it really bad, but it's $850 for the kit, and that's without a shirt. So when it's all said and done, close to $1,000 for a cool suit, and most people just can't afford that. That's kind of ridiculous. So they figured that out, and they made a DIY kit for all of us cheap folks, and it was about $100 for the shirt. You can get fancy and add some options, do different colors and stuff, but I went cheap since it's probably going to be under a t-shirt anyway. $100 for the shirt, and then $130 for the DIY kit, and then all you have to do is add a cooler, so go fish one out of your basement from that camping trip that you never actually went on, or go to Walmart and buy the one that I did for 20 bucks. Before we start this, I just want to say you can piece together your own kit, and there are a bunch of forum posts of people that have done it. You'll only save like $10 or $20 after shipping, and for me, when I priced everything out, I didn't have accounts with some of the places, so it was going to cost me the same amount anyway. Plus, I suck at sewing, so I'm not going to be able to sew together my own shirt. But after reading a bunch of reviews from people on the internet, Ultra Chiller had the best DIY kit, and it was still super cheap. So I went with them. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but if someone from Ultra Chiller sees this and you want to give me some free stuff, I'm not going to object. So to keep yourself from going insane, make sure you have some cool music on in the background. And so I don't get a copyright claim, here's some royalty-free jams in the background. So from Ultra Chiller, you get this box. Inside the box is the pump, some tubing, some more tubing with quick disconnect dry brake ends. Those things are rad. And the shirt. I'm going to leave the shirt in the bag until I'm ready to test it because it's really white and I'm really greasy all the time. Here's the cooler I got from Walmart. I believe it's a 19 quart. I mean, it's pretty deep. You can see how deep it is. The only thing is it has these handles. I'm not sure if those are going to get in the way or protect the dry brake ends. So I guess we'll see. Time will tell. I also got this triple outlet cigarette lighter thing from Walmart. That's what I'm going to plug it into to power it in the car, so I can remove the cooler to fill it with ice and stuff. I just want a quick disconnect end, and this is the easiest thing. Some heat shrink and some crimp-on ends, because soldering is for overachievers, but I still managed to suck at crimping things on, so I will always add on a third crimp. And for tools, you're going to need a drill. Cordless is cool too. For bits, you're going to need a 1/4-inch bit. You're going to need an 11/16 step bit. You're also going to need a step bit that goes to 1.25 inches, which I totally don't have, so I'll show you guys how to work around that later. You're going to need to seal some stuff up, so marine sealant works really well as the hot glue gun if you're an underachiever like me. You're going to need some strippers, crimpers to deal with the electrical stuff, and a heat gun to deal with the heat shrink. Before you start drilling anything, make sure you put the cooler in the car to see where you want the lines to come out. It worked better for me to have the power come out the back, so I put one hole in the back for the power, and then the 2 holes up front for the water lines. So you start with the 1/4 inch, and then go in with the step bit to 11/16 in the front, and then in the back, you're gonna need to go to 1.25 inches, and since I don't have that bit, And all drifters are hacks anyway. I'm just living up to the status quo and wobbling it out a bit like this. If you have the right bit, please do it the right way, or if you have a rotary tool or, I don't know, a better way to do it the better way. This'll work. You're not going to see the inside of the cooler anyway. This is really just to clearance it so you can access the nut on the back side. And that's pretty much it. Then you seal it back up. So the quick connect ends with the leads are the ones you're going to want to put on there. They already have some tubing attached. And make sure when you screw the metal lock nut on there, you do it really carefully. Make sure you don't cross thread it because it's metal on nylon and it will destroy the threads and the whole fitting. So just take your time, do it right. To get it tight, you might need to stick a screwdriver or drill bit in there to hold the metal while you turn the front. But once you get them both in there, they look like that. Looks pretty good. Now for the pump. The one you get from Ultra Chiller is the Tsunami T500, and they modify it so it doesn't get any cavitation. If you get one from Home Depot, just make sure you put a little hole there. I think it's an 1/8 inch. I don't remember. Look on the website. That just prevents cavitation. So to secure this thing down, you can use marine adhesive if you're an overachiever, but I had hot glue laying around. So you just load that stuff in there, put it everywhere you can, boop, and then you stick that stuff down, and then that's it. While you have the hot glue gun out, make sure you fill the backs of these with hot glue, and it takes a good amount of time to get this hot glue in there. Once you run the power lines through the hole in the back, you can seal that up with a little bit of hot glue. So you guys remember this awesome power block thing I got? Well, it came with this male end, which I'm going to use to plug the pump in. I'm going to speed this up so you guys don't have to watch me struggle forever. Just determine the right length, cut it, strip the ends, put the heat shrink on before you crimp the ends on. Don't make that mistake. And then crimp white. The black with the white line goes to the brown because that's hot, and black to black because that's negative in this setup. Just make sure you check your schematic before you do it. Crimp it all together. Ooh, it worked. And mess up at least one side so you can use that third connector you set aside. Heat shrink everything together if you want to overachieve and make watertight connections. And then just to clean it up, I electrical taped everything. You don't need to, you can put it in something that looks better, but I had electrical tape, so it works for me. Sorry for the bad camera angle, but all you have to do now is plug in the water line to the pump, and I hot glued it to the side just to keep it out of the way. And make sure you cut the return line pretty short and at a 45-degree angle, and that'll just keep ice from building up on the end and causing any blockages that'll stop you. All you have left now is to make the hoses that go from the cooler to the shirt. So you just slide the little ends in there, and these are super cool. They're dry brake fittings, so when you quick release them by pressing the little quick release thing, there's a little shut valve thing that goes in the back to keep water from spilling all over the place. So it'll keep your race car nice and dry. Pretty sweet. Just like all good race cars, it's not quite running right now. I've got a few weeks before I have track access anyway, so I'm not going to put it in the car and give you guys a review in this video, but if you want that, I can do a part 2 a little later on. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you thought this video was cool, share it with your friends. I've got more videos if you want to check them out, and there will be more coming up. So if you want to, subscribe and see more cool videos. But thanks.